Nebraska. We present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Thursday, the 14th day of August for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all the news, weather, and sports you need to get out the door here this morning. The Nebraska women's soccer team getting ready to open up the regular season tonight with a game against Southern Indiana in Lincoln. We'll talk about that coming up. Hastings College volleyball team has been picked by the league's coaches to finish 8th this year in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. They were 15-12 last year, 8-8 in the conference. The Broncos will be opening up the season this weekend in North Newton, Kansas. They'll play 4 games, and we've got Hastings College head coach John Schmidt scheduled to join us later on here this morning. We'll talk some Bronco volleyball. Finally, the American Legion World Series will get underway today in Shelby, North Carolina. Our Nebraska entrant is Lincoln East. They're playing in the World Series for the second time in 3 years. They'll play a 10 o'clock game today against Rockport out of Indiana. So we'll talk about that a little bit here this morning. Washington Nationals beating the Kansas City Royals by the score of 8-7 last night. The Milwaukee Brewers extending their winning streak now to 12 straight games. And that means the people in Milwaukee get some free hamburgers. We'll talk about that coming up on the show today. And, of course, the big news, I guess it's big news in the NFL. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders suffering an injury yesterday in practice, and he will not play in the Browns' second preseason game this weekend against the Philadelphia Eagles. So all that and more is on the plate here today. Also going to be getting some comments from Nebraska head volleyball coach Danny Busboom Kelly as the Huskers get ready for the alumni match, which is coming up this Saturday in Lincoln. So a lot of stuff going on for this Thursday as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning. Now you need to turn on your microphone, Tyson Havronic, in the Western Studios. That will get things rolling along nicely here this morning. So you wake up with Mike and Tyson this morning.
This is the second straight morning. It just does that. For some reason, there's a little glitch. Right at 7, it just doesn't want to go.
Yeah, it doesn't want to turn on?
That's the second straight time it's done that. I'll have to figure that out.
All right, well, welcome to a Thursday.
Good morning. Yeah, you mentioned the baseball scores last night with Milwaukee. I'm curious about this free hamburgers for everybody in Milwaukee. We'll get to that in a minute. But the Cardinals falling to the Rockies, and they lost both series to Colorado. I'm
the worst team. The worst team.
If we can Google this really quick or have somebody in research put eyeballs on it, I'm going to guess that St. Louis is the only team that Colorado has a winning record against this season. I'm going to speculate that to be true.
They've beaten St. Louis in both series so far?
4 out of 6.
Wow.
They've lost 4 games to the most miserable team in baseball. Statistically speaking, of course, the Colorado Rockies. Dropped both of them.
I don't care if it's statistically speaking or not. They're not good.
They're not very good. And St. Louis has lost 4 of 6. And that was coming off a very momentous series against the Cubs, where things were starting to look good. You know, this team is exhausting because you play good baseball, and it's like, all right, we're good again. We're going to make a charge for the wild card. We have a 6% chance for postseason probability. Let's get on board. Let's get excited about baseball. And then you drop 2 or 3 to the Rockies. Are you freaking kidding me? And last night, much of the same. You trot out JoJo Romero in a situation that was not where he should have been. You needed to throw Ryan Fernandez in that situation. You needed to give them a different arm slot. And they come out and they roll out JoJo to try to go in the ninth. And, I mean, listen, that side of the lineup and where those hitters were hitting from on the side of the plate, that doesn't dictate that you throw your hard-throwing lefty. You needed to bring in Fernch there, and they didn't do it. And they paid the price. And again, this is all on management just not knowing what he's got in his bullpen, not knowing what he has on his lineup card, and they dropped to the stinking Rockies. So, anyways, that's my rant on the Cardinals. We played like shit again. On to more baseball chat. Tell me about these free hamburgers.
Well, Milwaukee, they won their 12th straight game last night. They thumped Pittsburgh by a score of 12-5, and now everybody wins free burgers in the city from a local restaurant chain called George Webb. The chain was promising free burgers if the local team won 12 games in a row anytime during the season. So last night they eclipsed that, or at least tied it, 12 straight wins now for the Milwaukee Brewers. They did this, I guess, back in 1987. The Brewers opened the season with 13 straight wins, and more than 170,000 burgers were given away to mark the occasion. So the people in Milwaukee happy today. Their team is on fire in Major League Baseball. They've won 12 games in a row, and now they get to go to enjoy free burgers at George Webb in Milwaukee.
It's almost worth the price of a road trip, right?
You and I take off.
Just go to Milwaukee to get burgers.
Free burgers at George Webb.
Could make a few stops along the way at our favorite establishments.
And just eat all weekend.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
We could stop in Omaha and eat at our favorite restaurant and then continue on into Milwaukee and get free burgers at George Webb. I'm not sure what day that's going to be on, that you get free burgers in Milwaukee. But, yeah, nice thing there. I have never heard of the restaurant chain George Webb. But what the heck? He's throwing out some free burgers for everybody. 170,000 burgers he was giving away in 1987. This is like that shot thing in Omaha during the College World Series.
The Jell-O shot challenge?
The Jell-O shot challenge. So anyway, some good vibes there for the Milwaukee Brewers. You talk about the dismal St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
On the other end of the spectrum, Milwaukee has won 12 games in a row. Another team that's kind of sputtering right now in Major League Baseball. You've mentioned the Yankees here the past couple of weeks. They're really not playing good baseball. What about the Dodgers? 6 weeks ago, on July 3rd, the Dodgers held a 9-game lead in the National League West. With their 12th division title in 13 years, seems almost as a foregone conclusion. Well, they have won only 12 of 33 games since then. They were swept by the Angels the past couple of days. They were beaten last night by a score of 6-5, and now they find themselves trailing the San Diego Padres, the team they will host in a highly anticipated series this weekend, by a game. So the Dodgers kind of in a tailspin on the other end of the United States. So the Yankees in the East, the Dodgers in the West, kind of stumbling down the stretch a little bit.
Yeah, and, I think everyone's looked at the Dodgers the last couple of years as this team with just invincible armor that is impenetrable and never falters and suffers. But it is weird to me because the Dodgers have like 1,000 pitchers that they can trot out at any given time to take the rock and try to get you 6, but their pitching has struggled. And their offense hasn't been there as of late. I mean, it seems like it's one of those days where I'll liken it to basketball, where you got 5 guys and not a single one of them can make a shot. They're in one of those slumps where they can't find the timely hits, they can't get the big time home runs. The injury bug has obviously bit LA a little bit, but with that payroll and that high of expectations, this is a little bit of look yourself in the mirror and start playing. There's a side of me that's like with the Dodgers that they're almost just kind of sandbagging right now, and they're taking a few games off, and then they'll turn it on come September when they need to play ball again. But yeah, you can't sandbag too hard. Next thing you know, you're looking on the outside of the wild card picture and fighting for a playoff spot, and I don't see that happening. I think that LA turns it around, and they've done it before. But yeah, either way you look at it, I think San Diego's got to wake up this morning and feel really excited. You wake up and find yourself first place in the NL West. We all kind of marked the Dodgers-Angels series as one that the Angels should have got a game or two, but LA sliding down into the wild card discussion. Meanwhile, St. Louis's playoff percentage points, by the way, we talked about this yesterday. They were at 6, and I was excited. We were at 6%. Now we're at 2.
You're not going to the postseason.
Dropped 2 of 3 to Colorado.
You're not going to the postseason with the Cardinals.
2% chance.
Cash it in. Cash it in. Get ready for the football season. And speaking of football, this broke shortly after we got done yesterday. Shedeur Sanders.
The Kansas $300 million.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was big.
Somebody was donating $300 million to Kansas.
T-Swift was on Kelsey's podcast yesterday.
You're not going to talk about Shedeur?
T-Swift was on Kelsey's podcast yesterday. The biggest icon globally was on
to announce that she's coming out with her 12th album or whatever.
Why can't we get T-Swift? Because we talk about Shedeur.
No, we can bring this up.
Go for it.
Shedeur has got an injury now. He injured an oblique during practice yesterday. He was held out for the first day of the joint practices that they are holding with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's considered to be day-to-day, won't practice today, unlikely to play in the preseason game against the Eagles on Saturday. Sanders was the sole Browns quarterback who did not take any practice reps during 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 team drills yesterday. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Tyler Huntley all took snaps on Wednesday. Sanders played 45 snaps, completed 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns in the preseason opener. So Shedeur Sanders is now on the shelf. For the Cleveland Browns. We'll see if he can get up and rolling again next week. We mentioned this right at the end of the show yesterday. Your man, running back James Cook of the Buffalo Bills, 4-year, $48 million contract extension that includes $30 million in guaranteed money. It will link him to the Browns through the 2029 season. Tied a team record with 16 rushing touchdowns in 2024 that ties the record set by O.J. Simpson. So your man James Cook is now in the fold through the 2029 season as he signs for the Bills.
Apparently the T-Swift interview crashed the servers, according to Amber.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't happen with our servers.
Well,
we're rock solid. If we got T-Swift appear on this show, we'll talk to the IT guy. We'll see if... I
don't think we have the server space for that, but let's go with it. That would be great, though. But Western Studios only, obviously. Like, she can come in here. I mean, your place is a mess, so welcome into the Western Studios. I'm going to
getting around to picking up this place sometime. Yeah, if we have guests, we got to bring them into the Western Studios. You're more suited for that.
Which is something that I never thought we would ever say in the history of us working together.
Yeah, I remember the days when you and I worked together. Your office was atrocious.
I knew where everything was, though.
Your office was atrocious.
Oh yeah, no, it was an absolute S show in there. But I knew where everything was. And when people came in and decided that they were just going to take it upon themselves and not tell me that while I was on vacation that they were going to clean my office, and then I didn't know where shit was when I got there, and then I got mad. Don't mess with people's stuff.
Yeah, we tried to pick up your office several times.
Yeah, it's basic rules. Don't mess with my stuff.
Yeah, jeez. Just shut the door. Just shut the door. Yeah, your office was atrocious.
Thank you. But now it's immaculate, and now we entertain guests here.
That's kind of like my kids, though, growing up.
Yep.
When they were growing up with me and Mom.
They were slobs?
Oh, they were slobs. Yeah, their rooms their rooms mirrored your office.
Wow.
And now you go into their houses, and it's like you're walking through a museum.
Really?
Like there's nothing out of place. Like you walk in and say, does anybody live here?
We grow out of it.
Does anybody live here? There's nothing out of place. Where's the hairdryer that you threw on the bathroom counter when you left to go to work? It's nicely put away.
Wow.
Wrapped up. The cord is all wrapped up.
See, we grow out of it.
Jeez. Oh, God. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for a Thursday. If you are not already in school from earlier in the week, I think everybody else goes back to school today.
I don't go back till Monday.
We're talking high school, maybe elementary guys.
Oh.
So you're
Suckers.
in college. I know Hastings College is back in classes today.
Yeah.
Central Community College, you start next week?
Start Monday, officially. Students are back on campus, but we don't officially start till Monday with classes.
So by Monday, everybody should be back to school. Looking forward to another year with your students out there?
Yes and no. Yes, I am ultimately looking forward to it. No, I don't really want my summer to come to a screeching halt. I kind of enjoyed the past 81 days. It was
is that what it was? 81 days since you've been working?
81 days since class to class.
So you're back at it?
Back of the grind. Went up, rearranged a few things. Speaking of tossing a few things, I was going through some old files and old file cabinets, and I'm not a big, you know this, I am not a big historical artifacts fan when it comes to things. If I'm doing stats for a football game or a volleyball match or a baseball game, they instantly, after we go off the air, go right to the trash.
You don't save all that crap?
No, I don't save all that crap, and a lot of people do. And to that credit, I was going through some files in the file cabinet, and I was pulling out stuff from the college from 1998 in the media arts lab. I had not yet graduated high school, and there was still some of these files, academic transfer request papers with a copyright like 1998. And I'm like, I don't even think we use carbon copy paper anymore for those requests. I'm pretty sure that's all done digitally. So I had a good old take out shit to the trash day yesterday while I was cleaning the office and getting things ready. So it should be a fun year. Yeah,
you had stuff in your files from 1998.
They kept a lot of things. I was kind of skimming through it. I'm like, is this important to know? Okay, trash.
1998, students were graduating from Central Community College.
And then I felt like, maybe I should have kept one of those syllabuses. There was a syllabus from 1998, and I felt maybe I should have kept that just for historical purposes to look back on and think of what did we deem was important in media back in the mid-90s to what we deem is important now in 2025. It'd be kind of cool to make that compare and contrast.
Now, see, that would be interesting.
Yeah, but now it's too late because it's in the trash.
See, second thoughts.
Think about that.
Yeah,
I didn't
second
think about
thoughts.
Until I was driving, and I was like, I actually should have kept that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. What was important back in 1998 that you were teaching out there and what you're doing in 2025?
Well, and a lot of what was important, I mean, remember back in the mid-90s, and I'll speak to the mid-2000s when it comes to radio, and I think we advanced a lot from the mid-90s to the mid-2000s, and certainly now in 2025 from where we were at in the early 2000s. We were still using cart players when I came on board. What was deemed important in media was what we had the capacity and ability to do within 8 hours in the day, and so it just naturally took longer.
God, remember
God.
Remember what we did at a radio station?
Do you remember splicing tape?
Oh, yeah. Splicing tape. I never did master that too well. You got to get the razor blade out.
Yeah.
And splice the tape, and you got to get the splicing tape out and hope that it holds. Yeah. Now look at us.
It was wild.
Turntables, those big old turntables.
Oh yeah, I ran an all vinyl show when I was doing college radio. It shouldn't surprise anybody. We had a vinyl player, and
you mean a record player?
Yeah, record player. We had the fancier stuff. I mean, it was digitized by the time I got there. Like, I don't want to think that CCC was still using a record player when I was, but it was available. Like, it was on the deck, and I said, does that thing still work? And they're like, nobody's used that in 15 years. And I'm like, well, we're going to have an all vinyl show. So I use the record player quite frequently. We had the two turntables where you could cue one record and start the other, and while the other one was on cue, and then you played that one when that song got over.
Then all your records had cue burns in them, which means you try to start the song, it goes.
That is That's radio records for you right there. Cue burns.
Cassette machines.
How the hell did we... Oh, yeah, 1998 syllabus. I was like, how the hell did we get on this tangent?
Well, that'd be kind of neat.
It
and you threw away all that history when you were cleaning out your files yesterday.
The museum just cringed.
When does the trash man come at CCC?
Oh, hell, I don't know. Probably last night.
Could you go out there and rescue some of those files?
You're going to have me go out and rescue a 1998 syllabus?
Yeah, go through there and see if there's something you could use.
Go through the trash that I threw away?
Go through the trash.
It's gone. It's gone.
All that history.
Hopefully somebody else saved the 1998 syllabus because it's gone.
Trash man probably went through your trash.
I'm sure that's exactly what... Probably, because he probably lifted it out of the bag and goes, Jesus, why is this so heavy?
Waking up with Mike and Sison here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Going to be talking with John Schmidt. He's the Hastings College volleyball coach. That's coming up here very soon. Also get some comments from Danny Busboom Kelly, the Nebraska volleyball coach, as the Huskers get ready to play their inaugural alumni match coming up this weekend in Lincoln. It is 7:23 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
A sad day for school bond issues as voters in 3 separate areas of the state struck down their respective school bond propositions in special elections this week. In Pierce, voters overwhelmingly voted against a $29.5 million school bond that would have added a special property tax levy to pay for improvements. McCook Public Schools lost its school bond as well, with nearly 2,000 voters rejecting the proposal. It is the second time that McCook voters have rejected the bond. Cambridge Public School District, which saw its school bond fail with more than double those against the bond measure than for it. 5 individuals were federally charged for conspiracy involving labor trafficking and sex trafficking across multiple locations in the Omaha metro. Search warrants executed Tuesday at 4 hotels, 14 businesses, and 2 residences connected to the suspects. The raid was part of a coordinated effort by federal, state, and local law enforcement. The defendants allegedly using the locations to facilitate forced labor, sex trafficking for both minors and adults, and harboring non-citizens in violation of immigration law. And Showboat and 6 construction continues. After consulting with the Southern Public Power District, which has a transmission line on the corner of Highway 6 and Showboat, the Nebraska Department of Transportation has determined the line cannot just be taken out of service. The traffic signal replacement project will not be completed until the week of August 18th. The U.S. Highway 6 westbound to northbound right turn lane will be closed to traffic while signal work is ongoing. The work was made necessary after a pole in the northeast corner of the intersection that supports cables and traffic signals for both north and eastbound traffic was damaged in an accident on Sunday, June 15th. The intersection has been functioning as a four-way stop with red flashing signals and stop signs since the accident. The signals are anticipated to be put into service soon after the installation of the replacement hardware. Traffic signals at the intersection will be upgraded to steel poles with traffic signal mast arms as part of the Nebraska Department of Transportation's Southeast Project that is scheduled for 2026. It is now 7:25. We will head over to the East Side Studios. Mike Will, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska women's soccer team will open the regular season tonight with a game against Southern Indiana in Lincoln. Huskers have tied exhibition matches against South Dakota and Colorado State so far this season. Tonight's match gets underway at 7:05. Nebraska will play host to Missouri State on Sunday beginning at 1:05. Hastings College volleyball team has been picked by the league's coaches to finish 8th this year in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. The Broncos finished 15-12 last year, 8-8 in the conference. Concordia was picked to win the championship this year. The Bulldogs advanced to the NAIA quarterfinals last year after finishing second in the regular season and conference tournament. Northwestern was second in the preseason poll, followed by Midland, Morningside, and Dakota Wesleyan. Rounding out the poll were the College of St. Mary, Dordt, Hastings, Mount Marty, Doane, Waldorf, and Briar Cliff. Lincoln East will play Rockport of Indiana today in the opening game of pool play at the American Legion World Series in Shelby, North Carolina. East is playing in the World Series for the second time in 3 years after capturing the Central Plains Regional last week in Fargo, North Dakota. And the Washington Nationals beat the Kansas City Royals 8-7 last night. Royals will open up a series with the Chicago White Sox on Friday. First pitch will be at 7:10 at Kauffman Stadium. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:27.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
The summer heat coupled with the humidity is here to close out the work and school week and stick around through the weekend. Hey everybody, Tim Jones with your forecast. 92 is the high today for Thursday. Plenty of sunshine, outside chance of a few showers and storms, and a southerly wind 10 to 20 with gusts to 30 miles per hour. Warm and humid overnight tonight, 72. Heat advisory on Friday and Saturday. That's for temperatures in the mid to upper 90s as well.
Right now, as you wake up, get going. South winds at 11. Humidity at 82% this morning. We've got cloudy skies and it's 71 in heat.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
Every football season, there's that one fan. The one who sees the upsets coming. The one who doesn't just cheer, they calculate. They survive. This year, that fan could be you. Introducing Extreme Sports Survivor, the ultimate test of football instinct. Pick one NFL team to win each week. No spreads. No gimmicks. Just survive. But there's a twist. Once you pick a team, you can't pick them again. One wrong call, and it's over. Your name fades. Your shot gone. But survive long enough, be the last one standing, and you'll win our grand prize. Not just the glory, not just the bragging rights, something more. Sign up by Wednesday, September 3rd at x-streamsports.com/survivor. Do you trust your gut? Can you outlast them all? This is more than a game. This is Extreme Sports Survivor. Survivor.
All right, Mike Willenstein of Reich with you. This is Huddle Up for Extreme Sports on this Thursday, the 14th day of August, 2025. Get signed up for Extreme Sports Survivor. Again, you got to get signed up before the games begin. Wednesday, September 3rd is the time, the deadline to get signed up for Survivor, the Extreme Sports Survivor. So that's coming up this fall. Also coming up is Hastings College volleyball. The Broncos will open up the season this weekend with some games down in North Newton, Kansas. That's kind of the home of Kansas Wesleyan, so they're having a little get-together down there. Hastings will open up the season tomorrow against Oklahoma Panhandle State and Langston. Then they'll take on Texas A&M, Texarkana, and Bethel College on Saturday. And yesterday, got a chance to run into new Hastings College head coach John Schmidt.
Yeah, I went over to the Lynn Farrell Arena and got a chance to chat with the first-year head man, a man that brings a impressive resume into Hastings College volleyball with stops that he's made along the way, including even a D1 stint over at Belmont, where they took on Louisville in the first round of the volleyball tournament, well before Louisville was coached by DBK, by the way. But John Schmidt bringing in a wealth of experience and a lot of excitement, and is excited to be in the hotbed of volleyball for his first year of coaching Hastings College. Central Nebraska's newest morning show, Huddle Up, continues here on Extreme Sports. Tyson and Veronica with you as we get into some fall sports previews here on the Hastings College side of things. Excited to launch the fall sports preview series as we turn our attention to the volleyball court. And with that, some new exciting changes over the offseason and a new head man at the helm for Bronco volleyball. Head coach John Schmidt joining us here on the program. First of all, Coach, really appreciate the time and really excited to get this season underway. I know it's been a hectic whirlwind week and a half for you guys since school's been back up and in operation, but really great to talk some Bronco volleyball with you here this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity here.
Coach, let's first of all just talk a little bit about your journey in getting to Hastings College and everything that's led to that a very impressive resume in terms of stops that you have been at, where you have contributed, where you've coached. And so I think maybe the biggest question out of the chute with such an impressive resume, maybe why Hastings College, why the NAI, why GPAC, what led you here to HC?
First and foremost, I feel blessed because God has really put me in some really great positions. But to really, coaching is a ministry. It's an opportunity to enrich young ladies' lives. And so I look for places that I have the better opportunity of that instead of having the force or the pressure of winning at all cost. I want to win. We're a coach. I'm an athlete, former athlete, stuff like that. Winning is very important because I'm very competitive. But at the same time, I want to be in a place where I can also care about the young ladies who go through challenges in life, because I always say that I was a second chance kid. I feel like coaching allows you to do that and enhance that opportunity. And so when I was offered this job here, I was also offered a job right outside Atlanta, but it was a no-brainer here. Coming back to Nebraska after being gone for 13 years, it's football for girls here. You know, I grew up in Texas. I played football in Texas. It's football for girls here. It's put up on a pedestal. So you don't have those underlying fights that you have down in the South a lot. So you can really put your attention on the young ladies and give them everything you can give to them and watch them grow and learn. And that's what I'm excited about, is being here in a place where you can grow young ladies into, you know, empowered women and just, you know, great volleyball players and great people off the court as well.
Being from the South, what is it like watching a state like Nebraska that has, for obvious reasons, really embraced the sport? Obviously, the success at the D1 program, a direct reflection, but Nebraska is the hotbed for volleyball, and I think not only at the collegiate level, but all the way through the youth ranks into the high school side of things. What is it like to be a part of this hotbed?
Well, it's simple. Just 2 years ago, 92,000 people in a football stadium.
Yeah.
I am originally from New England. I grew up 10 minutes from where volleyball was actually created. I'm from Springfield, where basketball was started, but Holyoke, 10 minutes up the road. And so to me, it's like I go up there and visit a family and friends, and they don't play volleyball there. You know, I went to the YMCA where it was actually invented, and they go, "Oh, we don't play that sport here." And being down in the South, you know, it's centered on really one or two sports. It just, when you come here, as I share with my friends, I said, there's the only place on the mainland of the United States that sees volleyball as something, you know, respective and enriching to people's lives is Nebraska. You know, the only other sport that even comes close is Hawaii, because it's their, you know, island native sport. But in truth is, Nebraska does it very different than anyone else, and it's a blessing because you work so hard on the court and you get zero respect for it in most places. But here, they have that respect. I mean, I was in Quiznos just a few weeks ago, and 3 elderly ladies sitting next to me, they were just talking shop with volleyball. You don't see that anywhere else in the country. You know, you will hear that maybe on the mainland of Hawaii, but you won't hear it anywhere else in the country. And it's just a blessing to know that our girls will have that respect. They work hard. Why aren't they getting the respect for what they did?
Let's preview the 2025 edition of the Hastings College volleyball team here with you for a few minutes. We look back at the calendar year from 2024, a team that showed a lot of promise, a team that was very competitive in the Great Plains Athletic Conference, but a team that ultimately left a few matches where they just didn't finish, and probably had a few games that they could have picked up and won, maybe put themselves in position to be in a national tournament. You return a lot of that youth. You return a lot of some of those players, and so I think that there's a lot of room and reason for some optimism here.
Correct. Well, the true key is that you did also lose some really good players too, with MJ and their libero and things like that. So you're trying to replace those people, and that's not an easy thing to do when you leave a mark, because MJ left a mark. Their libero, I can't remember her name right back. She left on a mark, you know, and you had a lot of other role players around them that really left some marks as they left. But you have returning players who watched what they did and got to play, you know, the experience of playing with them on the court as well, to know how to keep a level head out there when it's a stressful situation. That's one thing that I like to bring to the court a lot, is I like to bring a lot of problem-solving opportunities and chaos so that they know how to handle themselves and be more composed to those situations. What we're returning, we're bringing some really young ladies back, good ladies back who can make an impact. We're also a little bit thin in one area that I would like to see grow in the future, with me having time to recruit. Coming in late February, you're not going to find that position, and which is the middle. That position very easily late in this recruiting year. But we have 2 players who can really play that, but they also have gifts to where they can move to other positions and have even a more impact in the team. So trying to find a way to work around that situation, because our offense is very dynamic. When I was at Belmont University, we were an inch shy of upsetting Louisville in the first round of the NCAA tournament. That was pre-Busman days, by the way. But you know, we're led by 5'8" outside who went off for 32 kills against them. And that's the thing, is that if a 5'8" can go up against 6'2", 6'3", and have 32 kills, your offense can't be straight up. It has to be very dynamic. So we're working on that in practice right now, learning how to move a lot more, be more dynamic. But the middle sets that tone, and the more you can establish the middle, the harder it is for the middle and the other side to close blocks, and it creates a lot of opportunities. Where the two that I know can play the middle very strongly can really be more successful on the pins because of if a middle is holding them, they're going to be, huge bangers. And obviously we're bringing back Ilsa, who can also add that outside as well. But Micah and London are going to be very explosive players on the court if we can just get that middle solidified through this preseason and as we move into the season. Not really expecting this weekend to be top-notch, but as the season progresses and as we get close to conference play, that's when I'm hoping our middles can really have an impact to help the whole offense really go. But we have to back it up with championship defense. You just can't go out there and play offense and win the game. You have to have championship defense. So we're really exploiting both sides very well, and it's really fun to watch.
How anxious are you just to get a set of eyeballs against a different opponent this weekend, to take a look at a weekend down in Kansas where you're going to be seeing the Broncos going up against 4 different squads? How much are we going to learn about this volleyball team in just about 4 matches of play?
Well, when you have a long preseason, first thing everybody wants to do is see a different face eventually on the other side of the net. Originally, we weren't going to schedule this weekend because I just felt like it was too soon. But because our tournament wasn't making at the time when I first arrived here, I went ahead and scheduled it because originally we were going to start with a scrimmage next Tuesday. But then our tournament made after all. So it was kind of throwing us a little bit early. But it's nice. It's just go out there and play a different face. And when you play that different face, you have more enthusiasm back on the court. One of my rules in the summer is I want you to kind of stay away from volleyball a little bit because when you come home from school every day, you don't hug your parents all the time. But when you go away for 2 weeks, you come back and embrace them. And that's the thing, we came in preseason embracing the opportunity to play again. And so I feel this weekend will be that embrace. Oh, we get to finally play a team other than ourselves. So I'm looking for that embracement as well.
You did mention a little bit about just some early bumps and bruises and some nagging injuries that we're kind of trying to overcome here. So is this going to be an opportunity to see some faces that might not normally make the starting 6, if you will, that will get an opportunity to showcase what they can do?
That's true. But I also believe in giving a little more playing time early this season because, again, going back to one of my previous places, we lost the right side in the middle of the season, but a freshman had some playing time early in the year. She stepped in right away and just went off like crazy. And that's what we do early in the season. I want to get some other players who may not have a starting role right off the bat or, that prediction of a starting role, but get some playing time. So in case we have to step them in later or if someone's struggling or an injury, they can jump in and they don't feel, starry-eyed out there because, wow, I haven't played at all this year. So we're going to get some playing time no matter what. But yeah, I mentioned London. We're without her right now for personal reasons, but we hope to get her back very soon. And so we need someone to step up and play her role until she's ready to play. And that will give someone an opportunity to step in later in the season and make an impact if we need that situation. So I love playing a few people more early in the season because it prepares them for when it's more important. We all get focused on trying to win every match. The only sport that I really feel like that's important is football because they only have a short, small schedule compared to everybody else. Early in the season, you can take a lump or two as long as you're preparing for what's most important. That's conference play and going into nationals. And we're going to be prepared for that.
I see a team last year putting eyeballs on the Broncos that is hungry, that is very competitive, and that rises up when adversity strikes. What's the ceiling for this team? What's some goals heading into the campaign? Is this a team that's going to be hungry enough and competitive enough that you think could make a run towards the towards tournament time, which is the ultimate goal?
Right. Well, the history is here. You look at the banners, a lot of numbers on there. It's not just 1 or 2. And obviously Buttermore, it was funny because he and I were interviewing back in 12, and it's just what he did to this program to really get him to another level. I think the girls look at those banners and go, we can achieve that too. And having Casey as my assistant, a former player of his, on that championship team, just having all that around, we have that in our heart. Obviously, when we're young, we don't know what it takes sometimes to get there until you experience it yourself. But it's nice that we have something that we can look up to and achieve. Because many schools you go to, there's not a championship banner, and there's most of them. A lot of times you'll have very few numbers on a conference championship flag. they see that all the time. And so because of that, they have that goal and striving mentality to go for it. And so we're going to look forward to see how that all works out.
Lastly, when you take a look and when we'll come on board, it will be the start of GPAC play and home GPAC play for the Broncos. How excited are you to just get underway in the GPAC, where it just seems like with all the schools, the Northwesterns, the Morningsides, you throw in the Midlands and Dones in there, there isn't a Wednesday or Saturday where you don't have like a big tournament style feel at Lynn Farrell Arena.
Well, I agree with that. I've only spent a couple years at NAI in my entire career, and the last place I was at, IU Kokomo was the dominant school for 8 straight years, either shared or win, and it was the first time our school that I was at had defeated them ever that season. So it's nice to see that kind of competition, but day in, day out, it wasn't that same competition. But here, I know the reputation of this school. It's like Division II with all the Minnesota schools, and in Division I with, I don't know, something called a Pac-10. I don't know what it's called, or not Pac-10, Big Ten. It's just like there's dominant conferences out there, and so you always have to be on the go every day. You can't let down or take anybody for granted, and that's what I look forward to, because there's no one in this conference. I don't care if you're at the bottom, you can't take them for granted, because it's a very strong conference, and it prepares every team on a daily basis on being a champion. Yes, you have certain teams that always sit at the top, but the bottom team is always prepared to be a champion because they're constantly playing those. And so we're looking forward to just going out there and have to respect our opponents on a daily basis and play hard, because there's no easy route in this conference. And I'm looking forward to that.
What do you think when the dust all settles, where is the biggest noticeable difference that Bronco fans will see from 25 to 24?
A very dynamic play of the game. We're just going to be a lot of movement. It's not going to be simple. And at times, the hard part about the offense that I like to bring, I'm a former setter, so I like to be creative. I'm also a former cartoonist, so there's a creativity in my mind anyways. So I love watching, just dynamics and just new things go on. But also that comes with more chance for error. When I was in Lincoln years ago, I did a lot of research and found out that being aggressive at all times, you have a greater chance, almost 3 times greater chance than even just being slightly aggressive of scoring. But it also raises the error rate. But the error rate is not a huge difference. Problem is that everybody expects perfection. I mean, you look at baseball, your best players in the Hall of Fame still fail 7 out of 10 times. So we're going to have some errors. And the last place, NAI place I was at, that we won a championship and beat Kokomo, of the 15 wins, over half of those, we had more errors than our opponents. And if you look at last year's national championship in Division I, Penn State had more errors than Louisville. It's like you're going to see more errors, so sometimes people will complain about that. But because we're always on the aggressive side, instead of being passive or sending free balls over, it's going to be exciting because it's constantly power. The power that we can bring at our level, it's not the 70-mile-an-hour attacks that you'll see right down the road, that little red school that is phenomenally gifted. But we are going to bring, we're going to bring the hammer anyways, and we're going to be dynamic all the time. And I think the fans will love that dynamic. It's like watching basketball where it scores every moment, because, football and baseball, they're exciting, but sometimes you go through a 3-0 win in football or a 1-0 win in baseball, we tend to complain it's kind of boring. We're going to be exciting just because we're always on the attack and we're always scoring through that. So we're going to have fun and watch the fans enjoy that.
Well, we're going to have fun watching it as well and telling your story throughout the course of the season. John Schmidt, head volleyball coach for Hastings College, entering year number 1, heading down to Kansas this weekend to get the first look at the new look Broncos here for 2025. Coach, appreciate the time here on the show this morning.
Appreciate it.
Good luck to you this season, and we can't wait to get things underway, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's John Cook, the new head coach for the Hastings College volleyball team, as we get our first look at the Broncos for the 2025 season. Again, playing 4 games in North Newton, Kansas this weekend. We'll see what happens. Some good competition down there. So meet up with John Schmidt for the first time here on the show.
Yeah, it's good to catch up with him, and like he said, he's looking forward to bringing in and instilling a fun new offense that I think should have the fans in attendance at Lynn Farrell Arena pretty well entertained for the 2025 season. So looking forward to getting that underway in September. As we're right around the corner from getting into the busy side of things here on Extreme Sports. Of course, we dropped the Hastings College broadcast schedule via social media, so you can check that out. Once again, fall sports, football, home and away, volleyball home matches, soccer home matches. Find out the broadcast schedule. Just head over to the social media sites on Extreme Sports, your exclusive home for Bronco Athletics.
All right, let's slide eastward a little bit. Talk some Nebraska volleyball. Of course, the Huskers playing their red-white scrimmage last weekend. They've got their alumni match coming up this Saturday. Danny Busboom Kelly says the alumni match is really a dress rehearsal for their season opener.
The fact we're not playing each other, we're all going to be on the same side of the net, will be different. And then, I think we'll look at some potential lineups and be able to make changes within those lineups that we would potentially make the following weekend. So I think you just learn a lot more. It's like an exhibition against another team that a lot of programs do this time of year. So this is our version of that. It just happens to be against alumni, which makes it more fun for the fans.
And Jenny says they expect a competitive match against the former Huskers.
I'd like to think we are going to be quite a bit more organized, so we have an edge, but you can't count out Olympians. And even though some of these players, they might not have played in the last month, they just got off playing pro seasons and were playing at a really high level. So I'm expecting them to be pretty good on the other side.
And Danny says that they continue to fine-tune their game in the preparation for the season opener.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things, and it's hard to really say what we really need to work on versus what was nerves and a little out of character. I thought just the last couple of days we played a lot cleaner, so I'm chalking some of that up to nerves. But definitely, we want to be one of the best serving and passing teams in the country. Nebraska always is. This team is no different. So we want to continue to fine-tune that, and that's a pretty big priority going into the first serve showcase.
And we all know that depth is definitely going to be the strength of this year's team.
Yeah, the depth is pretty amazing. Our practices are really tough. That's just going to make us stronger in the end. That's why I'm very excited to play against somebody else, even if it's alum this weekend, to really see how our 8 players can perform together, 7 or 8, without playing against each other. Because it's very hard to tell how good we are, how good one individual is, because the line is so thin between maybe our top outside and our 4th outside. It's like razor thin. So against somebody else, we'll get to use that depth, get creative with our lineups, and I think that's just so important when you're talking about the longevity of a season and being our best in December. Wear and tear, team morale, all that's really important to have a deep team.
And GBK says after watching the red-white game last weekend, she says the setters still have a lot of work to do.
We're setting the middle great. I think our tempo needs to smoothen out a little bit, and we've got to get a little bit more consistent behind to our right sides and our slides. But you got to remember that red-white was a whole week earlier than it's ever been. So we've only been practicing for, we had 6 days, 5 days of practice. So that'll come, and I'm not worried about that. The thing is, they are playing confident. We already talked about their well-rounded games. Campbell's improved a ton from a defensive standpoint. So a lot of those things that you can't really work on every day to get better at were great. It's the location and some of the tempo that we're going to continue to work on. That'll just get better and better the more we play together and the more we settle into a lineup.
All right, Danny Busboom Kelly, the head coach for the Nebraska volleyball team, as the Huskers get ready for the Nebraska alumni match, which is scheduled for this Saturday. Gets underway at 6 o'clock at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. You'll be able to see it on Nebraska Public Media. So a little volleyball talk today with John Schmidt, the head coach for the Hastings College volleyball team, and Danny Busboom Kelly. Some comments from the Nebraska volleyball team as you wake up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Sad day for school bond issues as voters in 3 separate areas of the state struck down their respective school bond propositions in special elections this week. Northeast Nebraska, Pierce voters overwhelmingly voted against a $29.5 million school bond that would have added a special property tax levy to pay for the improvements. McCook Public Schools also lost its school bond with nearly 2,000 voters rejecting the proposition. It is the second go-round that McCook voters have rejected the bond. Cambridge Public Schools also saw its school bond fail with more than double those against the bond measure than for it. 5 individuals have been federally charged for conspiracy involving labor trafficking and sex trafficking across multiple locations in the Omaha metro. Earlier this week, search warrants were executed at 4 hotels, 14 businesses, and 2 residencies connected to the suspects. The raid, part of a coordinated effort by federal, state, and local law enforcement. The defendants allegedly used the locations to facilitate forced labor, sex trafficking for both minors and adults, and to harbor non-citizens in violation of immigration law. And the Showboat and Highway 6 construction has been extended after consulting with the Southern Public Power District, which has a transmission line on the corner of the intersection. The Nebraska Department of Transportation determined the line cannot be taken out of service, so the signal replacement project has now been pushed back until the next week. The Highway 6 westbound and northbound right turn lane will be closed to traffic while signal work is ongoing. The work was made necessary after a pole in the northeast corner of the intersection that supports cables and traffic signals for northbound and eastbound traffic was damaged in an accident back on Sunday, June 15th. The intersection has been functioning as a 4-way stop since the accident. The signals are anticipated to be put into service soon after the installation of the replacement hardware. Traffic signals at the intersection will be upgraded as part of the Nebraska Department of Transportation's scheduled project for 2026 and 2027. It is coming up on 7:57. We'll spin things over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports, man?
Well, the Nebraska women's soccer team will open the regular season tonight with a game against Southern Indiana in Lincoln. Huskers have tied exhibition matches against South Dakota and Colorado State so far this season. Tonight's match gets underway at 7:05. Hastings College volleyball team has been picked by the league's coaches to finish 8th this year in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. The Broncos finished 15-12 last year, 8-8 in the conference. Concordia was picked to win the championship this year. The Bulldogs advanced to the NAIA quarterfinals last year after finishing second in the regular season and conference tournament. Northwestern was second in the preseason poll, followed by Midland, Morningside, and Dakota Wesleyan. Rounding out the poll were the College of St. Mary's, Dordt, Hastings, Mount Marty, Doane, Waldorf, and Briar Cliff. Lincoln East will play Rockport of Indiana today in the opening game of pool play at the American Legion World Series in Shelby, North Carolina. East is playing in the World Series for the second time in 3 years after capturing the Central Plains Regional last week in Fargo, North Dakota. And the Washington Nationals beat the Kansas City Royals 8-7 last night. Royals open up a series of the Chicago White Sox on Friday. First pitch at 7:10 at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. That's a check on your sports headlines. Now it's 7:58 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
The summer heat coupled with the humidity is here to close out the work and school week and stick around through the weekend. Hey everybody, Tim Jones with your forecast. 92 is the high today for Thursday. Plenty of sunshine, outside chance of a few showers and storms, and a southerly wind 10 to 20 with gusts at 30 miles per hour. Warm and humid overnight tonight, 72. Heat advisory on Friday and Saturday. That's for temperatures in the mid to upper 90s as well.
As you wake up, get going this morning, we've got south winds at 11. Humidity is at 82%. It's cloudy. It's 71 in Hastings.
Have you checked the time lately? Good chance a Miletta Vista Winery is open. Hey, this is Mick with an update on our new hours. Tuesday through Sunday, we're open 11:30 to 3, and Fridays and Saturdays 11:30 till 9. Not sure what you want to enjoy when you get here? Well, Maleta Vista features award-winning wine, select beers, spirits, world-class foods, breathtaking views, and live entertainment. Visit MaletaVistaWinery.com. Check out our events page for music schedules and more. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Make your reservations now at Maleta Vista Winery, located on Highway 281, just north of St. Paul.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high speed, dirt slinging, adrenaline pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
Are you listening to Mike and Tyson? This is Huddle Up this morning on Extreme Sports for this Thursday. A lot of volleyball talk today with John Schmidt, the new coach for the Hastings College volleyball team, the women's team, and also Danny Busboom Kelly, the head coach for the Nebraska women's volleyball team, as they get ready to play their alumni match this weekend. So we'd like to hear the comments, the interviews that we had earlier. You can go to our website, download the podcast of the show today, and listen to that again. We'll do this again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. So you can tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors about us. Love to have you join us either on our website at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. You'll find us, Extreme Sports, and Huddle Up.
Just fire up Bluetooth in your car audio on your way to Sutton.
Yeah, Coach
Download
Aaron's.
the app.
Coach Aaron's, he got in tune this week. Figured out how easy it was. If Randy can figure it out, anybody can. Yeah, if Randy can figure out how to get Bluetooth to work in his new car, anybody can.
Absolutely. That should be our slogan. If Randy can do it, anyone can do it. We had a couple new likes that I saw that popped through as we were doing the John Schmidt interview, and some DBK cuts. Had the volleyball in the second half. So for our new subscribers, for our new followers, for those who just popped in to check out what the first year head man for Hastings College had to say, welcome. We'd love to have you back with us each and every morning here on the show. here for Huddle Up as we are excited to get the fall sports season underway. Just right around the corner. Good Lord.
Go to our social media sites and hit the like button. IT guys still like seeing the explosions, everything that happens on the screen when
hit the like button, but like more importantly than the like button, hit the share button. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Say, hey, I've discovered this fun new morning show that I didn't even realize existed until they were putting on the Hastings College volleyball coach. These guys do a fun job. We have some fun.
Well, everybody's getting up now. We got to get the kids off to school.
Right.
More people might be up at 7 o'clock.
We should have some more traffic.
Yeah, you should have some more traffic, you would think. And we love to have those people join us in each and every morning because we'll be here Monday through Friday from 7 until 8. Everything you need. Yeah, so, maybe people getting back into the routine that they had from last year with kids going back to school. So we appreciate each and every one of you joining us here. Tomorrow, in addition to all the other stuff we normally talk about for a Friday, we're going to be talking about Kool-Aid Days, which is a big event coming up this weekend.
Might know. Going to see some traffic here in the Hastings community. Going to be a little bit busier than normal as people from around the state, around the nation, come out and check out. There's a lot of Kool-Aid fanatics, and I'm not kidding you. I work at First Street, which is right around the corner from the original Edwin Perkins factory. And there are tourists that come through, and they'll stop in at the brewery, and they're like, how do we get into the Perkins factory? I'm like, I think it's actually just to take photos of and just to see. There's not actually a Kool-Aid factory there anymore. But, yeah. So people, and I'm like, where are you guys from? They're like, oh, we came down from Minnesota to check out the Kool-Aid exhibit at the museum and the original. We love Kool-Aid. And I'm like, I didn't realize that there was, like, fanatics out there. So they'll be all around in town. We'll talk all things Kool-Aid Day. It's going to be a busy weekend in Hastings, a fun weekend in Hastings, and we'll get you all the info that you need to know on tomorrow's show.
Okay, so that'll be at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning.